After a long, wet, and dreary winter in the Pacific Northwest, I decided it was time to seek out some sunshine, epic riding, and good times in a completely new location far away. Enter Madeira, a small island in Portugal far out in the Atlantic that's closer to Morocco than anything else. First order of operations is getting the Spire dialed in after absolutely hammering the bike in the Pacific Northwest for the past year. I did a full overhaul before heading out.
Yo, what's up guys? So, flying out to Madeira tomorrow, and it's 8 p.m. and I haven't started packing, like, at all. So, I wait until the last possible minute before I start organizing or packing anything. It's a problem, you know, that ADHD life. So yeah, man, it's brutal, but we're gonna get everything in the bike bag. We got the Spire here all ready to go, running good. Finally got everything packed up.
After 2 flights and 3 days of traveling, I arrived in Madeira and headed to the apartment to get the bike built up. So we made it to Madeira. Got the bike out of the bag, everything showed up, so just getting it put together, and yeah, stoked. The first day of riding was in the center of the island and ended with a massive descent back into Funchal. Unfortunately, the footage from the first 2 days of riding wasn't great due to sunscreen smeared on the lens and bad camera angles, but the riding was stellar regardless. Day 3 was where things really ramped up. We started the day with trails on the north side of the island. The dirt here is notorious to be extremely slippery and the corners are mostly natural with some techie roots peppered in. We lucked out and had tacky dry dirt, which made the zone super fun to ride. Even with the good conditions, the dirt still managed to be somehow slippery, and I found myself washing out my front wheel on a mellow corner. The trees also form low tunnels with their branches, so watch out for overhead hazards. I smacked the top of my helmet and messed up my neck, popping over a few reds.
I'm bombing off it. Oh, shit. That was crazy. That hurt.
After finishing up in the north, we headed to the west. The West is best is a common saying among the locals. I see why. These trails are incredibly fun and the beer is cheap. The style of riding on this side of the island is proper fast flow tech with some incredibly techy downhill trails peppered in. This was one of the best days of the trip with a big group of fast and fun riders with some great wheels to follow.
Oh my God. Really? Woo! All right, couldn't see. Let the dust settle a little bit there.
see shit for a moment.
Dust storm, dude. I stopped where, yeah, you kept rolling.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what that is.
Front mic. So no wood. Right, I'm not. Go for it.
Thank God for Kush Core. Stopping. Oh, beautiful. This one's nice.
Not that big.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you hit that.
It's a quick
Bye-bye.
transition too.
You got it?
Got it.
Just kept going? Okay. After you, we're right after you.
Oh,
Here's the best part.
best part here?
Highway speeds.
Hell yeah, highway speed.
Go.
Highway speed. Yeah, I did. Whoever's hitting it. Ooh. He's got some great lines, dude. Not bad. Not bad.
The next day was the rest day. After a long night of indulging in the local delicacy known as pancha, I walked to the local electronics store and upgraded my GoPro Hero 7 to a new GoPro Hero 12 Black. The case had been causing some annoying rattling and I was sick of dealing with it, so upgraded to the new camera to hopefully get some clean audio. Day 4 of riding saw us back on the west side of the island with John and Grant, my temporary neighbors from the UK. This was by far my best day of riding on the trip. I was feeling loose and balanced on the bike, and it had rained the day before, which had tamped down some of the dust. I checked off one of the medium-sized road gaps on the island. It was all around just a banger day.
Whew. Nice, man. Woo! Yeah, boys. Oh God. Oh my. Oh my God. Oh shit. Whoop, whoop. Oh, it came up right away. Nice.
Day 5 was where it all kind of fell apart. I don't know if it was the late nights indulging in Pancha and Corral catching up with me, but whatever it was, the very first pop of the day was a sketchy dead sailor to my rear wheel. This is usually a sign I just need to back off and take it easy because the bad riding will usually persist for the rest of the day. But I was in Madeira. That obviously wasn't an option. All jokes aside, that would have been the correct move. The dust was horrendous and it was a fast group, so I found myself riding near the back of the pack, which resulted in completely blind riding conditions with the dust. My first near-death experience of the day was nose casing a 12-foot double and somehow riding it out. The Spire came to the rescue and I for sure got my money's worth on the 170 millimeters of travel there. The second near disaster happened bombing into a blind, dusty section of trail before realizing there was a technical left-hand chute I had to turn into and was thrown off the bike and onto my back on a rock. It could have been way worse, but the back protector 100% saved me.
Und der zweite
The worst was yet to come. Our guide warned us about a chill gap coming up, so I rolled into the line without scoping it first. As soon as I rolled up towards the gap, I realized it was one I'd hit earlier, and I absolutely didn't have the speed to clear it. I was already committed, so pulled anyway, and heard a loud bang as my rear wheel was destroyed on a rock protruding from the knuckle.
I'm flat. I cased the shit out of that. I'm flat. Flat wheel. Rim. All right, so just slow rolling it out on a busted wheel. So kind of an off day. It just wasn't, I was popping weird on jumps, just not feeling super dialed. And the safe move is to not push your luck when you're feeling that way. But I'm not that smart and I don't want to waste the day. So I was kind of sending everything anyway and had some sketchy moments and then crashed back there and fell onto my back protector on rocks. So wear your back protector, folks. That was totally painless.
After slow rolling out on a wrecked wheel in my cush core, it was on to another long night at the bars filled with Pancha and Corral. Drinking late was a questionable decision as I had to make it to MZ Bikes at 9 a.m. to drop off my wrecked wheel. The mechanic was awesome and laced up a rim within 8 hours same day, so I didn't miss the next day of riding. Huge shout out to MZ Bikes. They specialize in motorcycles and bicycles, so it's a pretty all-encompassing shop with great service. My neighbors from the UK had packed up and left, so I now found myself riding with a new group from Scotland and Ireland for the last 2 days of riding. Day 6 started with us on the east side of the island, riding an iconic cliff trail with insane views of the rugged cliffs shearing off into the Atlantic. It was another day of perfect conditions, as this is another zone that is quite treacherous with the Madeira ice with any moisture.
Woo!
Boys, we know the place.
Oh, fuck. I'm okay. Oh, I think so. I think so. Just slammed on my wrist pretty hard. That's all right. I'm okay. Ow. Fuck. Hold on, stopping.
Stopping.
Nice.
After finishing up the east side and grabbing lunch, we headed to the center of the island and rode some of the fast technical trails, which were definitely some of my favorites on the island. They were lower angle, but had some really fun tech to gap over and smooth out. Really fun ride.
actually, isn't it? Awesome, man. That was alright, bit of floor, that wasn't it?
The final day of the trip found us back on the west side of the island. It started out as a super fun day, feeling really good on the bike, but this elated vibe was cut short by a massive wreck on a sketchy flat lip double around a blind corner.
Up, down, down.
Oh.
Rider down.
Luckily, the rider was back on the bike after a day of rest, but it was a pretty gnarly crash. It's my last day of riding, so I dialed it back and just enjoyed the scenery. I get a little mentally checked out on the last day or last run, so on top of some superstition, I just dialed it back as to not break myself off in the last few trails of the trip. After finishing up the day, it was time for one last dinner and getting the bike and gear packed up.
Yo, what's up, guys? So, all done with the trip last night. Had a great day of riding. Super stoked on the riding. Super stoked that I didn't get too broken off. It's kind of scary when you're riding all this stuff, like totally pinned, dusty, loose conditions, and you're riding it blind. So it's it makes for some sketchy scenarios. But yeah, 7 days of that, and I'm leaving in one piece, and the bike's in one piece. Yeah, definitely check out Madeira, Freeride Madeira. Awesome dudes, really great guides, and yeah, it was a super fun time, so I'll definitely be back.
I didn't want to leave this island paradise where the riding is amazing. Every day was 72 degrees and sunny. Plus, the coffee and food was so good. It's hard to imagine going back to the States where the prices are high and the quality is low. Alas, it was time to leave. A quick 4-hour flight brought me back to the UK where I spent the night. Then the following day, I flew out of London at 5:15 p.m. and arrived in Vancouver, BC at 6:20 p.m. Everything was going so smoothly, too smoothly. My luggage arrived with my bike intact and I headed for my car. A big Sprinter van towered over where I thought my car was parked. Completely blocked out my vehicle until I was a few feet away, at which point I observed 2 of my windows were smashed out and thick piles of glass covered my seats. At this point, I'd been awake for 24 hours and this was the absolute last thing I wanted to deal with. After filing a police report and getting hundreds of small glass slivers in my hands, I was finally heading home. Not the best way to end the trip, but overall an awesome time, and I highly recommend Madeira. Freeride Madeira made everything easy with airport transfers, convenient shuttles, and awesome guides. Huge shout out to Salvador and Claudio for the good tows and good times. Thanks for watching, guys, and go book a trip somewhere new. You will not regret it.